along.
Welcome back, viewers, and thanks for staying tuned. Just before the break, we asked Mr. Shah Akhtar about being in the curry industry, but however, with a very professional educational background, and he was a scientist. And I just want to carry on from there. I heard something, secret government, something there before we went into the break.
Yeah, I was working doing mad cow disease research, doing diagnostics into that one. And because it deals with animal welfare as well, it was classified as a secret government laboratory because we don't want any activists coming in with certain opinions and upsetting the order of things. So I did that for a good few years, and although it was enlightening for the point of where I could find something during my research and it could be on the news the next day, we'd have BBC camera crew going around as well. And this was at the height of the mad cow disease and foot and mouth a good few years ago. But unfortunately, being a civil servant, it doesn't really pay that much either. So, and also my father at the time, we had the restaurant trade as part of the family business, and that was paying significantly a lot more. So it was quite a successful little restaurant. So I left my my scientific job, mainly due to staffing issues as well, and going to help my father as well, and worked in the restaurant.
How are you finding the industry at the moment?
Well, it's changed a lot since I first started on, because when I first started, I went from 1 restaurant to 5. And within the last 1-2 years, I've now had to sell, close all those establishments. Now we're down to 1, all mainly down to the staffing crisis. The staff aren't there anymore.
That is one of the biggest crises the industry is experiencing.
Yeah, it's a problem that it's self-made as well. We didn't have the foresight. I mean, a lot of our fathers educated their children to become much better in other industry sectors. So that doesn't really leave many people coming through to take over.
Yeah, I understand.
And it was always seen as not as a job, but it was never seen as a career, more of as a job. So when these early immigrants came over, most of them were completely illiterate. They weren't professional.
It was all about putting food on the plate.
Yeah, it was putting bread on the table, basically, making a better life for their family and the kids. And those pioneers were very successful at doing that. But as a result, those pioneers are now coming to an age where now they're having to retire, and those old ways, those old curry restaurants will be retiring with them, unfortunately. The new generation are coming through a bit more professional, and they're having a new take on things and doing things a little bit differently. But the problem is the majority of the industry, the majority of the working staff that are in the industry have been brought up with the old-fashioned ways. So it's very hard to make it more professional, more standardized, unless you remove the old Bengali mentality, if you like, which is sort of hindering the industry moving forward.
It's just because time moved on.
Time moved on a lot quicker than what we did, unfortunately. And Bengalis are very stuck and stubborn in their ways. In most cases, they are very reluctant to change. So it's that hurdle that we have to cross.
What made you join the Night of Raj? I mean, that's a brilliant project. I'm really inspired by the project.
Well, I haven't been in this industry, and then it tells a story and struggle of those pioneers. And the reason why I went back to help my father is because I see him struggle. Even with partners, he used to go and work every day and open the doors, clean the windows, set the tables. Even though he had younger partners, they weren't doing anything, unfortunately. So that's why I used to go and help him when I was 8 years old, 10 years old, from a very young age. So I had that instilled in me. And then I heard about this exhibition, Nights of the Raj, and it's a very similar sort of story, a passion project, if you like, of Alibai, and it sort of resonated with me. And then when I went to see the exhibition, everything I saw was very relatable. You know, I remember that, I see that, and I see that, and then I just think, you know, it's a perfect story, and everyone has a different story to tell. and you see all these legends.
Sort of refreshes all the old memories,
exactly.
doesn't it?
And you see all these legends on the wall, and each has their own story. And then you see people turning up to the exhibition, not for the first time, they're coming for 3, 4, 5th visit, just to see more. And even now I can go back and see something that I haven't seen before, and because there's a lot of layers to the exhibition, and it's very accessible. It's not, it's open to everyone, so it's sort of not too controversial, but there are some certain elements which can spark a little bit of interest. So
okay, no problem. I'm coming back to you,
Yeah.
Mr. Shah. We have viewers a glimpse of a documentary that's made of the exhibition and some information which we are going to play. Just before we go into that, I want to ask Muhammad Ali about how did you get into doing an exhibition about Indian restaurants?
Like Shahbhai mentioned, I've been helping my dad as well. I think so many people who are probably watching can relate to helping in the family business. It was just the thing you did, when you were at school, when you were, going into your teens. We helped his family. That's how businesses survived, in fact, through brothers and sons and everybody kind of working together. So it's something I've seen. I struggled with it, of course, as a young man. Really, kind of, did we want to be stuck in a curry house, while your mates are out there having a laugh? No, we didn't really. It was kind of like, you have to do it.
Okay.
And I struggled and I kind of pulled away from it. But then it was probably after I've gone and pursued my own career, and after the passing of my father is when, like with everything, where you kind of appreciate once it's gone, I kind of started to, yearn for those stories, and I realized and recognized that there are waves of elder men, the first generation that migrated here, that are slowly one by one dropping off.
Yeah.
They are going now. I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate to how.
Can we come and add that to? We're going to play the clip and we'll come back again because I think break time and everything gets mixed up.
That sounds good to me.
Viewers, have a look. This is the documentary. We're going to just play it now. Okay.
Every few hours you'd see somebody chasing somebody down the road. They'd have the meal and run off without paying the bill.
And I used to deliver trays of chicken to quite a few restaurants from Good Street.
फास्ट फूडर्स दुकानों को लोगों ने था इंग्लिश और इतना असेल खूब खूब असेल लगी लंच खूब बेशी खानी हुई तो 12-6 3 course lunch
तो আমরা বেতন পাইতাম 5 pound a week
तो बड़ा रूमो 2 बेड 3 बेड में लाइया तो 10 शिलिंग उजन्नी बड़ा
তো লাঞ্চ গিয়া যেমন আমরা স্টাফ হইবার আগে আমি যতটুকু পারতাম আমরা সাথ দিলাইতাম হুবার মারা বাজো করা
People didn't know what the Bengali people was or Sylheti people was. We were all Indians.
Well, there you go. That was quite interesting, actually. It's nice. I've seen it. Obviously, I've seen the exhibition. I've seen it, and it is interesting. Everything you're doing there. I think, personally, I want to thank you for the work you're carrying out. Both of you and the team. But your involvement in the industry, can I find out a bit more about that, and what sort of relationship do you have with the curry industry?
Well, as I said, I initially was completely up till the age of around 20, 21. I was working with my father, and then I didn't. There's a little bit of a kind of a dilemma in that our parents, we of course wanted to continue with the businesses in the sense that I saw it as a duty to, but then we were getting degrees and wanting to go into our own fields. How can you juggle both?
That's right.
There was this conflict, if you like, where even our parents probably didn't really want us to stay in the industry. Subconsciously, they probably did and they didn't, because we're building these empires to pass it down. But at the same time, they're like, you go and get a degree. How do you juggle that? And actually, like I said, I was kind of caught between two worlds in a way. Pursued my degree, studied in the industry, became an artist. And now I'm kind of in some ways doing a full circle. While I'm not going back to the trade and working in it, I've kind of come back into it very recently, the past few years, doing research for this project, and I've immersed myself in this community again, and trying my best to see how I can revive it in a way that the British public can actually, tell the backstory that never was told, right? The backstory meaning sometimes even the unpleasant stuff. As Shabai mentioned, there are some things that maybe not controversial, but there are things in the exhibition that I thought people should know about the struggle of alcohol, right? The British public know the Indian restaurants, especially the Bangladeshi ones, as the people who sold beer and curry. The concept of beer and curry wasn't the Pakistani community. Far from it. It was the Bangladeshis that established curry and beer. But actually, do the British public know that these people actually have been torn about the idea of selling it, i.e. according to their faith as Muslims? There's a whole panel about that, explains that, saying that the people struggled and they would often try and seek religious advice as to, can they sell it, can they not? That should be something that's told as the truth needs to be told about curry. The stuff they had to put up with, the khasra customer that we had to deal with. Right, the khasra customer that anyone, you smile when I say that.
I'm going to come back to that now, right? We're just going to go to a break again,
okay.
and we'll come back to that. Viewers, stay tuned please, and we'll see you after the break.